The highlights. Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency Youth Alive Foundation induct 40 additional students into Kings Queens clubs. Transmission Company of Nigeria announces full restoration of national power grid. On the foreign in Tokyo's governor wins re-election for third term. And in sports, wrestling superstar John Cena announces retirement from WWE after 22 years. Now the details. I am Akan Usen. In a bid to promote positive masculinity and raise empowered girls, the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, DSVA, in collaboration with Youth Alive Foundation, has inducted an additional 40 young boys and girls in secondary schools under Lagos Education District 2 into the Kings and Queens clubs. Over 6 weeks, the selected boys and girls were engaged in critical issues such as SGBV, sexual and reproductive health, anger management, gender equality, and the legal position on the child's rights law. Others are technology-facilitated sexual and gender-based violence, masculinity, grit, tenacity, resilience, and new woman/new man. At the end of the engagement, the boys and girls were inducted officially into the clubs, just as they were encouraged to become positive change agents in their communities. So far, 5,507 students have been inducted into the clubs since the commencement of the initiative by DSVA. Men of the Navy Forward Operating Base in Iwakoda area of Ondo State have obstructed the activities of illegal oil bunkering and deactivated 8 illegal refining sites at Awuye and Ogebiuku axis in Ilaje Council area of the state. Commanding Officer of Operating Base Wasuku Alushi said the exercise was in furtherance of the mandate of Operation Delta Sanity 2, which is to curb criminal activities in the Niger Delta environment, specifically crude oil theft and illegal bunkering. Alushi said the modus operandi of the criminal elements has changed slightly from the previous operations, and they remain relentless in their pursuit of the mandate of the Chief of Naval Staff. He assured Nigerians that the Navy will go all out to ensure that it curbs this menace of crude oil theft and illegal oil bunkering in all its areas of operations. And now to the rest of the stories. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says the national power grid has been restored following its collapse on Saturday. TCN Public Affairs General Manager Ndidi Mba described the collapse as partial. Mba said the grid collapse is suspected to have been triggered by the unexpected tripping of 3 units of a power generating station, which he said suddenly removed 313 megawatts from the grid. According to her, this caused system instability that led to the loss of bulk supply to a section of the national grid. Meanwhile, electricity consumers have condemned the repeated collapse of the national power grid. Chief Justice of Nigeria Olukayode Aliwola is set to swear in the 12 newly appointed judges of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. A statement by the Director of Press and Information of the Supreme Court, Festus Akonde, said the swearing-in ceremony, which is scheduled for Wednesday, 10th of July, will be held at the main courtroom of the Supreme Court of Nigeria by 10 a.m. The Kaduna State Council of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, has condemned the abduction of its members in the state. In a statement issued by the council's chairman, Asmau Halilu, and the secretary, Gambo Sanga, NUJ described the abduction of its members and their families as unfortunate and appealed to the security agencies in the state to rescue the captives from the kidnappers' den. It also enjoined all practicing journalists in the state to be vigilant in their daily activities, while also praying for the safe return of their abducted colleagues and their families. It will be recalled that bandits invaded the Dajonu community in Millennium City of Chinkon local government area of Kaduna State and abducted 2 journalists, Abu Ghaffar Alabilewe of The Nation and Blueprint newspapers Abdul Rahim Abdu, as well as their wives and children. And now to foreign news. Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike has been re-elected for a 3rd term, fending off challenges from dozens of candidates vying to unseat the ruling Liberal Democratic Party-backed incumbent. Koike got more than 40% of the vote, followed by Shinji Ishimaru, who was in 2nd place, and Renho, who was supported by the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan, which came in 3rd. A total of 56 candidates contested the election for the governorship of Japan's capital, which is home to 13.5 million people. And now sports. Wrestling superstar and 16-time world champion John Cena has announced his retirement from the World Wrestling Entertainment (WWE) during the Money in the Bank event. The 47-year-old wrestling legend will embark on a farewell tour, marking the end of his 2-decade-long career with the wrestling promotion. Cena, known for his signature catchphrase, "You cannot see me," and his crossover success in Hollywood, addressed the audience while wearing a red shirt emblazoned with the words, "The last time is now," and a matching red hat. He said his farewell tour will include participation in next year's Royal Rumble, the Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania in Las Vegas. And just before we go, maintain adequate distance from the vehicle ahead of you to avoid collision. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X, Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. On YouTube, subscribe and watch us live on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration deployed traffic lights and CCTV cameras in strategic places in the state? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government's website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. In a bid to promote positive masculinity and raise empowered girls, the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, DSVA, in collaboration with Youth Alive Foundation, has inducted an additional 40 young boys and girls in secondary schools under Lagos Education District 2 into the Kings and Queens clubs. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says the national grid has been restored following its collapse on Saturday. We also told you that Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike has been re-elected for a 3rd term, fending off challenges from dozens of candidates vying to unseat the ruling Liberal Democratic Party-backed incumbent. And in sports, wrestling superstar and 16-time world champion John Cena has announced his retirement from the WWE during the Money in the Bank event. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Adewale Olowoporoku. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe.